Hi guys, back again with another video, and this one I thought I'd go back to another top 10 of my favorite episodes of a TV show that I had kind of done on and off and on. And this one was going to be the top 10 Game of Thrones episodes. And I'm just going to throw it up now. Spoilers. Just because a lot of what I love in the episodes in Game of Thrones, these episodes in particular, are likely spoilers if you haven't seen the show. So I would highly recommend watching the show. Yes, even the final season, and then come back and watch this video if you want, or if this inspires you to watch the show, then all the better. Anyway, so we will start with number 10. Number 10. We have Battle of the Bastards. It's season 6, episode 9. And if you've seen the show, you know what the Battle of the Bastards is. It's pretty self-explanatory, and they even call it that in the show. And this was the big battle where Jon Snow and the Wildlings and the Northmen and eventually the Knights of the Vale all come in to attack Winterfell, which is being held by Ramsay Bolton and his whole force, House Bolton. And this one is just awesome because it's a great battle sequence, extended battle sequence, but also because of the way it starts with Ramsay riding up with his men to meet with Jon Snow and Sansa, and them just like not giving an inch on either side and just then going their separate ways. But then what starts off the battle is Ramsay leading Rickon Stark out, untying him, telling him to run. If he makes it, he's free, and then just starts firing arrows. And then Jon Snow gets on his horse and tries to get to him and doesn't make it, obviously. And then just the whole battle starts, and he's stuck out there without a horse. So it's just awesome. And I've been through the whole series, probably, I'd say the majority of the series 3 or 4 times, and then the final season at least twice. So this episode in particular, I've tried to pay close attention a few times, and I still have yet to be able to pick out Daniel Craig in the massive bodies. Apparently he's in there for like about a second. He was a massive fan. He wanted to be part of it, so he's in there with that massive bodies that are starting to pile around Jon Snow when he gets kind of buried under all of them. So let me know if you can spot him. I can't yet. So that's number 10. Number 9, we've got Kissed by Fire, and that's season 3, episode 5. And this one takes place shortly after Jaime Lannister has rescued Brienne from the bear. He was allowed to leave the Bolton stronghold or fort or whatever, but Brienne had to stay. And he decided that they're probably going to kill her, so he goes back, and they had her in the pit squaring off against a grizzly bear. And so he rescued her, and then they ended up... No, I'm wrong. That is a great sequence. That was the Bear and the Maiden Fair, sorry. This was shortly after they get to the Boltons, where they clean up Jaime Lannister. He's minus a hand, and he's in the bathhouse, and Brienne's in the bathhouse, and he comes in and settles into the outside of the bathtub, big tub area, and she wants him to get out, and he's fine, I don't care, and just decides to stay. And I want to say it's towards the end of the episode, but it's the monologue he gives when she gives him like a disdainful look, and he's like, I've been seeing that look all my life. And he starts to talk about Wildfire and the Mad King and what led to him executing the Mad King, and then the rebellion taking over King's Landing, and it's just like the look of him with all that shaggy beard and stuff, and he's sort of he's almost crying at the end, but it's just a great monologue talking about Wildfire and the Mad King and Ned Stark and by what right does the wolf judge the lion and that kind of thing. Really, really good. So that was number 9. Number 8, we've got The Dragon and the Wolf. And this is the season 7 finale, season 7, episode 7. The last 2 seasons were shortened to, what was it, 7 episodes, and then 7 episodes for the season 7, and then 6 episodes for season 8. So this is the season 7 finale, and I had little blurbs written for myself, like sometimes the title doesn't give the plot summary away, and sometimes it's been so long since I watched an episode, it's like, okay, what The Dragon and the Wolf, what's this one about? Well, it's the season 7 finale. And I wrote big meeting, what did I write? Big meeting in King's Landing, because this is where Cersei and Jaime Lannister meet with Tyrion and Daenerys and Jon Snow, and no, Sansa doesn't go, but it's basically them trying to convince Cersei to help them out, call a ceasefire, help them out so they can fight the army of the dead. And it's a great scene, especially when the Hound unleashes the I guess the White Walker, or the zombie, basically, in front of Cersei, and they demonstrate what it can do, why they need to kill it. But it's also a great reunion for Bronn and Tyrion, and Bronn and Podrick, the Hound and Brienne. But my favorite part, the most rewindable part, is where I just keep rewinding 10 seconds to watch this line again, is right at the end after the meeting's broken up and everyone's left, and Cersei, Jaime Lannister is talking to his men saying, like, blah, 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 we're going to go and meet the Northmen there, whatever. And then Cersei wants to talk to him. She's like, what do you mean? What do you mean leave? What do you mean the meet? She basically tells him that she was lying, that she was going to send her people to fight anywhere. And Jaime just ends up going, just like, let them go. Cersei's like, let them go and fight in the north, and we'll fight who's left. He goes, when the fighting in the north is over, someone wins. You understand that? If the dead win, they march south and kill us all. If the living win and we've betrayed them, they march south and kill us all. Long story short, he ends up leaving and ending up going to Winterfell. And Cersei balks for a second, like she's going to have the Mountain kill him, but she doesn't. I think this episode and the season also ends with the ice dragon, the dragon that the Night King has turned into a zombie, blasting a hole in the wall, and the army of the dead walking through. Anyway, that was number 8. Number 7, we have The Queen's Justice. This is season 7, episode 3, and this is where, let me straighten this. This is where Jon Snow and Daenerys Targaryen meet for the first time. She puts out like a call for the King of the North to come and bend the knee, and he just coincidentally wants to go there because they find out that she's at Dragonstone, and Dragonstone is basically built on a mountain of dragon glass, which they need to fight and kill the army of the dead. So he's like, I'm going to go there and talk to her and try and get her to fight for us and get the dragon glass at least. The meeting doesn't go quite as anyone plans, but it also has another constant rewindable scene where or bit of dialogue where Tyrion is basically trying to convince him, and Daenerys trying to convince Jon to bend the knee, to pledge allegiance to her cause. And he's just like, there's no time for this. There's no time for any of this. We've got the army of the dead is on the way. I need you to fight for me now. I need the dragon glass anyway. Otherwise, we're all gonna die. And Tyrion just keeps saying like, it won't take any time to bend the knee. Just bend the knee. And he's like, and why would I do that? And he just looks at Daenerys, and he's like, I mean no offense, Your Grace, but I don't know you. And it's just like such defiance, and it's just awesome. And a lot of these I'm singling out probably one or two single scenes in an entire episode, but it's what makes me love that episode so much. And in this case, it's that Dragonstone confrontation or introduction, I suppose. Especially when Davos is defending Jon Snow and starts to say he took a knife to the heart for his people, and Jon like just turns and kind of stops him with a look. It's just like, you don't need to tell people that I'm came back from the dead. So that was number 7. Number 6, we have Mockingbird. This is season 4, episode 7. And this is the one where Tyrion's on trial. He's been found guilty, and he wants a trial by combat, and he's hoping to get someone to fight for him against the mountain so that he doesn't die, and so he's not executed. And Bronn won't fight for him. Jaime can't fight for him because he's not the fighter he once was. But Oberyn decides that he will be his champion. He will fight the mountain for him, which he tells him at the end of a long monologue. Another great monologue where he talks about like, well, you and I have actually met before. He's like, I think I would have remembered that. He's like, oh, I think not, because you were just a baby, and I heard all these rumors about it being like the demon baby with a red eye and a tail and horns and whatever, and him being so disappointed that he was just normal. And finding out how much Cersei hated him from when he was born, but it's a great scene, and it essentially comes down to that. Oberyn Martell, Pedro Pascal's character, he's still my favorite supporting character out of all Game of Thrones. I guess because he was only there for one season. I mean, like a very strong favorite supporting character would be Bronn, I guess, but he's there throughout the whole series. Oberyn's there for one season, but he leaves quite an impact. Yes, so that was number 6. Number 5, we've got the series finale, season 8, episode 6, series finale, The Iron Throne. I don't care what anyone says. The season 8 is just as good as a fitting end to the series, and it's just as good as the other 7 seasons, better than a lot of them. And certainly better than the first season. First season's great, but the last season's awesome. Anyway, but this one's just great because you have Jon visiting Tyrion in the cell. That may have happened either early in this. Jon visiting Tyrion in the cell, and Tyrion basically telling him, "You need to kill Daenerys," and then Jon actually killing Daenerys and ends up in a cell. You've got I was gonna say Daenerys. No, not Daenerys, but like Tyrion finding his brother and sister together. I think he does in this episode. Is it this episode or the I think it's this episode where he finds the bodies, and then of Jaime and Cersei buried under the rocks, crying, and then he meets Daenerys up on the steps when she's got her whole forces there, and just takes off the hand of the queen pin and tosses it down. But in the previous episode, you had the great piece of music from the season, what was it, the season 6 finale, played again a little bit, the tail end of it, right when Cersei was left all alone. Sorry, getting off topic. But it's just great, but because it ties up all the loose ends, it ties up all the storyline ends very nicely. You get Sansa, Jon, Arya, and then the new small council. You've got Bronn and Podrick and Brienne and Tyrion and I said Bronn and Bran. No, it's just a great series finale. Yeah. So that was number 5. Number 4, we've got Two Swords. This is season 4, episode 1. The season 4 premiere, where you're introduced to Oberyn Martell, which is a great introduction to, again, one of my favorite characters. But you've also got, they finally get to dealing, Tywin finally gets to dealing with Ned Stark's family sword, Ice, which is a large, great sword made of Valyrian steel. And he brings in a smith who can still work it and melts it down and makes 2 swords out of it, hence the title. And one of them he gives to Jaime, and the other one he gives to Joffrey. Excuse me. Jaime ends up giving it to Brienne along with a new suit of armor as a couple of gifts, and she names it Oathkeeper and stuff. It's a great scene. Just like, I have a gift, I have another gift, and like basically sends her on her way with a new oath to, or a continuing oath to find and protect Catelyn's 2 daughters, Sansa and Arya. And like I said, largely it's about a great introduction to Oberyn Martell, but there's also a great scene. Oh, I forgot there's the additional gift where he sends Brienne off with Podrick for him to be her new squire. And he's not safe in town, and so anyway, that was number 4. Number 3, we have The Winds of Winter, season 6 finale, season 6, episode 10. This is the aforementioned season 6 finale, which has the great music, and what I consider to have one of the best opening set of scenes for, I guess, an episode of TV or a season finale, final episode of a season ever, because the first good, I think 20 minutes or so is all set up for Cersei blowing up not the Red Keep, but basically blows up everyone at her, what's supposed to be her trial, where Loras is also on trial, and Marjorie. And it's this great piece of music that starts when the episode starts, and then it stops periodically. But you've got her blowing up the entire sept, killing the High Sparrow, Loras, Marjorie, Mace, Lancel, and then which leads to Tommen killing himself, and Qyburn has his little birds kill Maester Pycelle, and it's just an amazing episode anyway. And which ends with Cersei crowning herself Queen of the Seven Kingdoms. Anyway, so that's number 3. Number 2, we have season 4, episode 8, The Mountain and the Viper. And this one, again, my summary was because this is the one where the Tyrion's trial by combat takes place, and it's the Mountain fighting Oberyn Martell. And it's just an amazing episode, amazing sequence. fight sequence, which unfortunately doesn't end well for Oberyn, but just the way he's fighting him and beating him soundly and then taunting him, unfortunately too much, and then he gets killed, gets his head exploded, but it's just a fantastic episode, and it's all in there in the title, Mountain and the Viper. You know exactly what it's about. Number 1, we have Hardhome, Season 5, Episode 8, which I call the Zombie Apocalypse episode. This is where Jon takes Tormund and some of the wildlings. Well, no, he takes Tormund and they go to Hardhome, where the majority of the wildlings have retreated back to try and enlist their help to bring them back through Castle Black onto south of the Wall, so that they will survive and so that they can help defend in the Night King coming. And I think the good last 20 minutes, last half of the episode is pretty much them fighting the zombies as the White Walkers, as they're all attacking Hardhome. And you get to see, well, no, this is after the Watched on the Wall. So you've seen 1-1 fight before, but you get to see 1-1 fight all these zombies. And this one also had a very quiet moment where they're all on the boats escaping, and the Night King just slowly walks to the end of the dock and he does the whole thing where he raises his hands up, slowly raises his hands up, and then all of the wildlings that had died, all of a sudden their eyes blink open, turn blue, and they wake up, stand up, and he's got like a huge army once again. It's amazing. It's action-packed and just amazing. And yeah, I think that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and like, comment, subscribe, whatever you like. And pardon me. And I will see you next time. Toodles.